Hello, hello, hello. Happy Pride, everybody.
Can you open messages on your computer from Mac? Like,
Can you email it?
no, estoy diciendo que si tú puedes abrir mensajes en
Happy Pride, everybody.
how's this? Can you open messages on your computer?
Yeah, okay, I got it. I think, let me see if I can open it. Yeah.
Like,
Can you email it?
why isn't this opening up? No, estoy diciendo que si tú puedes abrir mensajes en YouTube. Beautiful. Nice. So I'm live on YouTube. So it'll save there. We're on Instagram. Hey, Instagram. And we need, I just need one more thing. I need the link for the pre-sale so that I can put it in the chat. Dominican writers. Put it here. Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
We love you. Pre-sale.
Yes,
www.dominican. Happy Pride, everyone. Happy Pride. There you go.
the live we have been waiting for, yes.
Word.
Oh,
So did you, are you in the Zoom? There you go. I'm
you
admitting.
gotta let me in.
I just saw that. Let me.
Oh, wait.
Let me. Do we both? I want to make sure that you can be seen.
We hear everything twice.
It's giving me feedback. Let me see if I move it this way. Oh, that lighting is excellent. That looks amazing. Let me see something.
I think what I'm gonna do is lower the volume on one and then leave the volume on the other.
Yeah, if I lower the volume on my computer, then I won't get sound on my YouTube. It's hard to know.
So lower the
Folks can
volume
hear
on the volume that you could hear. Like not, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Yeah, so you're not turning off the mic, you're just lowering the volume so you don't hear two things. It's like the speaker that you're turning off, but they can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, baby, just stay right there, mama. No, mi amor, you cannot. No. Why won't it let me? I wanna make
To try a mic for the phone. Yeah. Someone said.
Okay. So there we go. That's what I wanted. I just wanted to make sure that we can be seen on YouTube side by side. And now we're ready, I think.
Yes, we are.
Welcome, Josely Castillo. Happy
Welcome,
Pride.
Alicia Nebel Santos. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
The month is almost over.
The month is almost over.
Never too late to celebrate.
That's right. So, Josely, I want to start by introducing you to this space, to like my IG platform, but also as you tell everyone who you are and what you do, I want you to open up our conversation with what today symbolizes for us, those of us in the LGBTQ community.
Today,
Introduce yourself.
oh yes, my name, yeah, I'm Josely Castillo Fuertes, una pájara dominicana, escritora, madre, I'm a mom, lesbian and activist and an educator and a writer. I've been writing for a while, and we have now this project that Alicia and I have been working on for a couple of years now, but an idea that's been cooking for decades actually. But finally, we're very close to finalizing. And we having this live today on a day like today because June 28th, 1969, it's when officially the fight for LGBT rights started en el Village aquí en New York. En 1969, el 28 de junio, empezó formalmente la resistencia de la comunidad LGBT en downtown, en el Village de la ciudad de Nueva York. Y se celebran 51 años, entonces estamos aquí, que un tiempo apropiado para hablar de nuestro proyecto, que también sigue con la lucha y la resistencia de nuestra comunidad LGBTQ, pero en este caso la dominicana. So we're here to celebrate and starting this conversation today on a day like today. So we also, the Dominican community, can gain strength from that resistance and of the whole movement, because we have a lot to fight for in our LGBT Dominican community, for space, visibility, voice, and that's what we're doing.
So my loves, welcome to this beautiful and important conversation. Josely and I are celebrating the pre-sale of Pájaros, Lesbianas y Queers a Volar, which is an anthology of Dominican transnational writers, a bilingual compilation of poetry, essays, short stories, short plays, and memoirs by out Dominican writers on the island and in the diaspora. And so what a fitting day, the day Stonewall changed the world, especially for the LGBTQ community, where we can celebrate this revolutionary moment, right? That is the launch of this project, this important work. Listen, Josely and I wanted to talk about just the beginnings of the project, and Josely, I'm going to do a little bit of like a Q&A with you, because that way we can be in conversation and just tell people how this project even started. So, Josely, how did Pájaros come about? How did this book come about? What were the beginnings of this work?
Well, the idea was back in the 90s in school. I'm studying at Columbia University, themes of Latin American literature, y no había mujeres, no habían personas de color, and I'm thinking like, how are we reflecting this community? There were, writers from Spain, writers from Brazil, some from México, y claro, no se conocía ninguna escritora o escritor dominicano gay, ni siquiera con temas en ese entonces. So I was just like, I wish I could have seen and I could have studied, and I did my research looking for Dominican LGBT writers. There were none. So that's kind of like the seed where it started, pero cuando empezó ya en sí la idea was with the New York City Latina Writers Group, when you and I, when I joined the New York City Latina Writers Group, I saw it as a possibility in one of the discussions we had in the plans that we had for the group with the retreat and then an anthology. So it kind of like I saw it as a platform to continue doing the kind of the compilation work or organizing the work that has already been there. Lo de Dominicano, you know, again, as LGBT, there are not many LGBTL Dominicans out, but the also another stage of the idea was when back in 2005, also Jacqueline Polanco, she put out an anthology of lesbians, and I have been part of the lesbian community, obviously, but I also been part of the the whole community of LGBTQ plus people. So I thought that it was needed also, you know, an anthology that not just portray lesbians, but the whole community, gay men, trans people, and especially dealing with many issues, you know, that we've dealt with, like people of color, you know, racism, everything that affects the whole entire, or at least as many as we can, members of the LGBT community. So like it was different stages in terms of the idea, and with you, like I said, and working together and making it happen with the workshop that we got with Dominican writers, that kind of how the idea became really possible, and it actually happened with the support of Dominican writers.
And poets and writers. And
Yeah.
poets and-
And poets and writers, yes. We got the platform, we got the funds for the workshops, and you know, we put the call out for writers of Dominican writers, Dominican writers, and being out was it's super important, because we know from the history that there are a lot of people in the closet that cannot come out, or it's dangerous for them to come out, or you know, they don't feel like they want to come out, whatever the issue is, but this has to be out. Vamos a volar, you know, we have to, it's a very intentional project with visibility and respect and pride and you know, the fight, this is the full fight, you know. There are people who fight behind the scenes always, but this is the fight, like, in, you know, that everybody needs to see, hear, talk about, and so on.
So family, the anthology is born out of many things, right?
Yeah.
But Joseli and I, during the pandemic, we facilitated a really beautiful 6-week workshop where 40 plus writers, Dominican writers from all over the world, joined us virtually to be a part of just this space where we would come and co-create together and build. And from that workshop is this work that was born. And it's important. This work is incredibly important because, you know, most of us, we live in this society where being out is not accepted, shunned upon, and the discrimination and homophobia and transphobia is real. And I would like to just like celebrate all of the contributors. There are 38 of us who have contributed to this work, who were brave enough to just have their stories, be naked for the world to see us, where we have not always been loved and welcomed and respected. And so, Joseli, let's talk about the pre-sale. Let's talk about the pre-sale.
Yes, it's important that people support. One of the challenges we've had is economics. You know, it's Dominican Writers is not a very, yes, you know, it's not Penguin, you know, it's not Al Gorkin, it's not a major publishing company. So funds are limited, and the fact that if we show that there's interest in this anthology, that people want to buy it, it's important that people buy it pre-sale, because then it will come out faster. We still don't have a date, because we're still in the works of putting it together, and not putting it together, but the final edits. We should be getting the proof soon, but it's not, we have not seen a very high demand yet of the pre-sale. So we need people to show up and say that they want to buy 1 or 10, to gift to your friends for birthdays, or class sets, any teachers out there, or for the reference in their libraries, anything that can help us out.
Numbers matter, family. Like, I'm sure many of you have noticed that there are a lot of authors who are doing pre-sale before the book officially comes out. So this is our celebration during Pride. The book is done. Like, we are in the final stages, because, we will be announcing a launch date. We will be announcing launch parties in the Dominican Republic and in the US. And so pre-sales matter, because it tells the publisher that this work is important, needed, and wanted. And so we really encourage you all to go to the website, www.dominicanwriters.com/DWA books. Get your copy, like Josely said, get many copies. For those of you who are like in academia, we are in a climate where books are being like taken out of the libraries and off bookshelves. And so it's really important that we have your support, and celebrate this work. It's such a beautiful, beautiful project. And so, yeah. What else do we want to say, Castillo, about Pájaros?
I mean, anyone on the chat have any questions, anything they want us to answer?
Are any of the contributors in the live? Let us know if you contributed. And yes, please ask questions.
Well, Alicia, I wanted to ask you in terms of what has been your experience with this project from the beginning. I know, my experience, but like for especially the workshops, you were, you have been and you are a very successful facilitator and teacher of writing. So what has been your experience with this project?
I think for me, it was, being a part of this project, but those workshops in particular, like the 6-week workshop, and being in a space with Dominican writers who were so vulnerable, who were so honest, who were so raw. It was, for me, just like an honor to hold space in that way, to be surrounded. I mean, we know what it's like. Yes, mi amor, hola. We know what it's like to hide who we are. Those of us who are in the LGBT community, around shame, around fear, around loss of family, loss of jobs. Like, it's a very real fear. And for these writers, for these contributors to say, you know what, I want to be a part of this project, knowing that, there are consequences to the choices that we make. It's a brave act, right? It's a revolutionary act. So for me, just being a part of it and reading everyone's work it was just an honor, Josely, just to do this project with you was an honor. And I'm really excited to celebrate all of these first-time writers, those who are perhaps seasoned writers, to have their work put on this platform, along with Dominican writers. I have a lot of high hopes for this work. I really, my hope is that it reaches so many people that it touches so many people, you know, not only within the LGBTQ community, but our families, our allies, those who love us, you know, those who love us and support us and want to get closer to us. That's the hope, you know. And so I'm excited. We've been ready for this to come out for a very long time.
Very long time.
We've had some delays. It's been about 3 years working on this work, and now to see it finally come to fruition is incredible. It's exciting. And so I've loved it. I love all of the contributors' pieces, and I'm just excited for the world to see it, to, you know, to read it.
Yeah, I wanted to add that we put out the call. There are also writers who were not part of the workshop, you know, that we put out a general call, and we have people who, you know, participating that were not necessarily part of the workshops. And, you know, not everyone from the workshop submitted. So that's also, you know, there are a few people who didn't submit. So that it's both. Not all the work here, it was workshopped. People who have original pieces or pieces that were created before or after the workshop. So I wanted to bring that out. So we put our general call. It was not just exclusive of the workshops. So
I mean, I'd like to share a little bit of what you'll find in this anthology. Like, so we shared at the beginning that there's memoir, there are essays, there's poetry, there's art, there's visual art in the work, in the anthology. What else is
plays,
there are
plays, the short skits, and the regular stuff, you know, an intro and prologue and things like that. So that are, and we also have to say that we have given, if you have not seen what people have been saying, you know, the colleagues or writers that have read our manuscript and supported, you know, like it's really a solid work of art, of literature. So we have, you know, Elizabeth Acevedo, we have la doctora Ana Maureen Lara, you know, it's Charles Rice Gonzalez, who else? We have Mariposa, Fernandez.
Grisela Rodriguez.
Yeah, you know, a community. So it's really, you know, we have some
Mommy.
like writers who have kind of seen the value. Oh, Yolanda Arroyo Pizarro, how could I forget? You know, that have seen this work and have supported us and believe in this work and the importance and the need for it, especially now in these times, as you know, the political climate is getting worse and worse and worse, and not just here in the United States, but also in the Dominican Republic. So we still have to be fighting to live.
Ya voy, mi amor, ya voy.
And and respect.
Gisele, Elena's calling me. Can you talk a little bit about the title? Like, could you talk a little bit about the title and the sections, Dios, Patria, Libertad? Briefly, just cover that, because I'm gonna go tend to Elena real quick. I'll be right back,
Okay,
ma'am.
yeah. Well, the title, Pájaros, Lesbianas y Queers a Volar, you know, we can't, the main thing, you know, with pájaros and pájaras, and we know the limitations of the language, we know, and especially for a title, but we thought that those three nouns, you know, pájaros, lesbianas y queers, in general, kind of encompass most of the community. And, you know, the second part of the title, LGBTQ plus, in transnational, we wanted to stress the fact that, you know, it's not just international, but transnational is more specific to the experiences of nationality, of what is nation, how do we belong to this? How do we call ourselves Dominicans and being LGBTQ? And we organized a main theme in terms of questioning these Dominican ideals of patria, Dios, patria y libertad, that, you know, without tagging on to nationalism, the same way it applies to us, you know, believing in God, whatever God that is, you know, having a home, which is patria, and then definitely the la libertad, the freedom that we need to be our whole self, and being part of or being questioned or being rejected in any of those levels is, or any of those components of our national identity. How do we fit in? You know, how are we you know, challenged, or how we pushed out or pushed back, or you know, straight up discriminated against if we are, you know, hijos de la patria or hijos de Dios, if we are children of God and children of or citizens of this country, you know, how can we exercise liberty when we're not able to? So that is, we thought it was fitting to organize the book that way. Que era muy, está bien, la, la organización va acorde con los ideales, you know, personales, obviamente, pero también los ideales nacionales de la, de la República Dominicana. You know, as Dominicans, you know, we're very proud. We're always happy to wave the flag, but then, you know, ¿qué derecho? What right do we have to wave the same flag and wave the gay flag at the same time? We have the same right. So, and because we are part of the nation, we are part of, you know, of a spiritual world that will be God, whichever God you believe. We are all of that, but we are not afforded the same liberty. No nos merecemos, de acuerdo a las leyes, la misma libertad. Entonces, you know, that's kind of like why we organized it like that, and the title. So
I'm sorry, I missed the whole, like, the sections conversation, sorry. Manny asked a question, one of our contributors. And they ask us, is this one of the first works of its kind for the Dominican diaspora?
Yes, it is. There another reason also, actually, thank you, Manny, for that, is that there was a Latina lesbian anthology, and there were no Dominicans. And in the second edition of that anthology, there was an interview with Ochi Curiel and also Juderkis Miñoso, who's also part of our anthology. But, you know, in the first anthology, I was always looking for Dominicans in all of this literary work of LGBTQ people. But and there are other gay Dominicans, like, you know, Rita Indiana, but also what's his name? He's in Miami right now. I'm forgetting his name, but yeah, this is new for Dominican anthology in the diaspora, definitely. There are no Dominican LGBT anthologies. There was one in the Dominican Republic, you know, of gay themes, but you know, my perception of that anthology, it was works that dealt with, you know, LGBTQ themes, not necessarily as an activist work where people have to be out, and which is, you know, separate. So there were people who are allies or who were straight in that anthology. So yeah, there are no, in the diaspora, there's no LGBT that I know of. Obviously, you know, there might be one that I'm not aware, but there's no anthology like this one so far.
Anyone else have any other questions?
You know, I'm thinking so much about what it means to have edited this work, knowing that we are both you know, we're from this very homophobic country
Mm-hmm.
that has pretty much been grooming us, our society, to to hate ourselves in many ways, right? And this, it feels like a love letter to the flag. It feels like a love letter to the nation, you know, that there's a group of people, a group of people that they cannot keep hidden, that they will not keep silent, that you cannot have, you know, this emblem of a flag, Dios patria y libertad, and completely want to erase a people,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a group of people because of the color of their skin, because of their sexual preference, because of how we identify, how we move in the world.
Alicia,
No.
is the YouTube, the Zoom still working? I don't see it working.
It's okay, it's doing its thing.
Oh,
It's
okay.
third way, we're not gonna worry about that.
Um,
Your thoughts, Joseli, this idea of it, my, you know, my feelings on it being a love letter to, you know, the island, to our people.
no sé, eso es lo que yo expliqué también cuando la organización de Dios, Patria y Libertad, you know, and how we, because we are part of the Dominican community in the diaspora, but also part of we are Dominicans, you know, even though we have a migrating experience, we in very much we are accepted when we travel back, right? Because we bring in money and we bring in a lot of other stuff in terms of culture, but that part, you know, we're not accepted. There are certain things we're not accepted for, and others, yes. So, and we want to be accepted whole with all our experiences, all of our intersectionalities. So,
I'm excited. I'm excited for, you know, this younger, you know, community,
yeah.
this younger community in DR to see themselves reflected, you know, in the pages, you know, to celebrate, you know, with us this huge feat. You know, we're celebrating Pride. A lot of people who don't understand, you know, the intention behind, you know, celebrating why we have a Pride Month. You know, like why does the gay community get an entire month? You know, and it's because we haven't always been proud.
Well, you know, we have the culture that ciertas cosas personales, you know, certain things you don't talk about. Which is nothing new. This has been in our culture. The Catholic precepts, you know, Catholic faith, it's like that. It's like whatever happens in your house or personally, you don't talk about. Like everybody will know that, you know, Mr. So-and-so has hijos en la calle, you know, mistresses, but he goes to church and not a problem, right? So we just don't talk about those things. You know, some people can be a criminal and things are hushed down and we don't talk about that. Like there are things that people don't talk about, and sexuality has been one of those taboos for, especially, you know, because of the Catholic faith, where, you know, if you look at the priests, all the priest scandals and things, it's never been a secret that, especially in Rome, that, you know, these priests had the reason why the prostitutes were close by the the Vatican is because, you know, the priests were their number one clients. So, but nobody talks about those things. For example, so sexuality is a taboo, and I'm not comparing, for example, a homosexuality to you know, a deviant behavior like some people think of homosexuality. No, it's just a topic that people don't talk about. So the same thing with coming out. It's not part of our culture to be, you know, this activist culture for sexuality. For it's you know, it's starting, it's newer. I mean, it's newer in a lot of fronts, not just the Dominican Republic. So it's important that we are in the forefront. Like there is activism in the Dominican Republic for women's rights. There has been for a while. There's some activism for black lives as well. So the LGBT, we also, we have to make it part of the activism. But unfortunately, like you said before, those decisions have a cost, a social, a personal, a familial, like the family. It has a cost, because talking about those things, you're supposed to not tell anyone what you do in bed. And according to, if you say that you're homosexual, you're talking about what you do in bed, which is not the case. Heterosexual people kiss on the streets, hold hands, have pictures of their spouses at work. We cannot do the same, because we're not supposed to talk about some kind of private behavior that happens in our homes. But no, this is it's time that we move the personal to the political, and that has been kind of why this is important, because those personal decisions that we make, they affect my neighbor, they affect the church, they affect the school, they affect the whole society. So we have to bring it out.
I love that. I love that. And this definitely like a call, right? It's a call to action. It's an activist, chant. And so I'm excited. I'm excited for us to do readings with the work.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and me too. I can't wait. There's gonna be, we need to be ready, because there's gonna be a lot of backlash, especially in the Dominican Republic. Daga, woo. There's gonna be backlash, because we are questioning in this anthology. We are questioning a lot of these Dominican nationalist and Catholic like dogmas that have been imposed, that people don't really live it. Like, the truth is, people don't live like that. Everybody has a life, and then they have a second life, second public life. It's
Ética y protocolo.
Sí, etiqueta y protocolo. No ética. I wish it was ética, ethics. No, it's etiqueta y protocolo. It's everything public, and your personal life, your values, what you really value, is not out there. It's not part. So we have to hold people accountable. Like, what you do inside, it's what you do outside. It's not a double, triple, lives, even though it's getting harder to do that, because with virtual life you have many different lives. So it's harder to see the humanity and the realness of people. But we got to do it.
Hang on one second, and I know you're like, how long are you going to be on this live? Family, do you have any questions? Any questions for Joseli? Any questions for me? Any thoughts? If you are in this live and you just came out, welcome. For those of you who are allies, welcome to our LGBT community. We love you. This is for you. The work that Joseli and I do is for you. And so we pray that you feel heard and seen and loved. And we're really excited for you all to get this work in your hands. Please order the book. You do not have to be gay to read this work. It is literature, family.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And gay people have been reading 99.9% of heterosexual literature our whole lives. So please.
Thank you, Ana, mi amor. Our whole lives. So please, it's so important. Pre-sales are so important. Get it for your friends, get it for your family members. Let's elevate this conversation. We're just excited, for you all to see this work. And we'll be announcing the launch dates really, really soon. Does anyone have any questions? Is there anything you want to close with, Joseli?
I wanted to say that the book, it's going to be a chance to continue our community. like this is a community, and I intentionally, like, we want to create a group, with next steps, and something that we have to, talk about. But like the queer Dominican community, um in the diaspora and also in the Dominican Republic, I think we hope that with this book we get closer and we can plan and do, and organize, even if possible, more. I know I personally have been uh going through a lot of changes in my life, and challenges and things. So, but I want to maintain my commitment to the community, which has been, over 30 years of activism, that I want to continue this, and I want to be a little more present. I know with, a daughter, it's not as easy anymore, but I want to make sure that we stay connected, that we are supporting each other in different things. So that's kind of like what I wanted. I want this to be kind of like a seed for us, sharing spaces, not just on the book, but in other ways, to share space, to share experiences. So
Mommy, go lay in the bed. There was one last question, and Manny asked, is there some kind of formality if we want to reach out to bookstores to stock the work? Yeah, 2 minutes, Mama. To stock the work. Manny, that's something that we're gonna work out with our publisher, right, with Dominican Writers Association, in terms of how we get it in bookstores. I know that there are some formalities in terms of getting them in bookstores here on the island. There's etiqueta y protocolo.
hay procesos. But generally also the way like that, como ella nos dijo, Alicia, es que like we personally can buy, there is a cost to buy it and then resell it. So
Right.
I think there will be, a cost for the bookstore, and then, they resell it at a different price. So, but yeah, I don't know much about it, but that's like, if I wanted to sell it, I will have to buy it and then resell it.
Yeah, we will definitely be keeping you posted. We absolutely want to get it into our bookstores in New York. We want to definitely get it into our bookstores here on the island, but also we want to see it everywhere, right? Because there are Dominicans everywhere. And so we're really excited. Please order the book. Thank you for joining this live today, family. Joseli, thank you.
Thank you, gracias. No, a ti,
Thank you
Alicia.
for joining today. Y nada, we'll keep you posted.
I just wanted to share that right before the call started, my sister called me half an hour before, like around 6 o'clock, and I called her back right before the live, and she's on her way to the emergency room when I spoke to her right before the live. So I want everyone to please keep her on her prayers. It's really, yeah, and it's the kidney stones. She was screaming with pain, so I would like everyone to kind of, and I almost didn't come. Because I was gonna go take her. But yeah, it's just, yeah, I'm gonna go to her. So
Yes, we will keep her in our
our
prayers.
prayers. Yeah.
Bien, everyone. Thank you for being here. We love you guys. Happy Pride.
Yes, thank you.
DominicanWriters.com
Gracias.
/DWA books. And we're sending love to Fanny.
Thank you.
Bien, everyone. Thank you for being here.